Jason. Guys, we mentioned this earlier in the show a tiny bit. But the Ravens' run defense is pretty good. The Browns' running attack ranks top 5 in the league in rushing yards per game. Do you think the Browns will be able to have sustained success on the ground versus Baltimore on Sunday? Yes or no?
I don't.
No, I don't either.
I don't have confidence in that.
I hear what Leroy was saying, but I don't know that I agree with him in terms of I don't think that they run the ball successfully. I just when you are barely getting 3 yards a carry, 3.5 yards a carry, that's not a good run game as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they have. You can do it by committee, but if you need 3rd and 4, who are you giving it to? I think you have to throw it in that. Do you not?
I think his answer was right, though. Like, I do think Kareem Hunt is the guy that – I know you say he's got 3 wheels, but he runs hard and he gets those hard yards.
I want to address
in short yardage situations.
Are you going to backpedal?
No, I'm not backpedaling at all.
Okay.
But like the whole everyone's like, oh, you think he's got 3 wheels? Yeah, because if he had 4 wheels, he'd be the feature back. And he'd be getting 20, 22 carries a game, and he'd be getting 85, 90 yards a game.
It just sounds so harsh. When I picture a cart going down the road with 3 wheels,
change the wording.
It's scraping and there's sparks coming out.
Here's the whole point I was trying to make.
Give him 3 tires and one that needs air. Can we do that?
Well, the 4th one's a donut.
Yeah, he's got a donut. That's his new nickname.
The whole reason I said it in the first place was because everyone's like, "Oh my God, Kareem's back." I'm like, guys, this isn't the Kareem Hunt.
It just sounded so harsh when you said it.
But is it wrong? Am I wrong?
Well,
no.
I'll tell you this:
it's not wrong.
Who picked up the most important single yard in this season so far?
Kareem Hunt at the
and
goal
in
line.
those situations,
yes.
I mean, in 3rd and 4, you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah, 3rd and 4. I might be a little nervous on 3rd and 4, but
if it's 3rd and 1 or 2, I want to give the ball to Kareem.
He's the guy I want in short yardage situations.
I agree with that.
But my whole point was,
but he's not a lead back anymore.
No, and that's fair. That's fine.
That's the only point I was making.
3 wheels, to me, that brings a mental image of sparks coming off from the axle.
But that's kind of what he is.
No, because
he's going to get you 1 or 2 yards.
A car with 3 wheels is done. It's pulling off.
It'll get you. You can go 2 yards.
I should have said this. I should have said this when Leroy was here. But Leroy once said something, was once quoted as saying, and it's true, and it applies to Kareem Hunt. If you need 1 yard, I'll get you 3 yards. If you need 6 yards, I'll get you 3 yards.
Yes.
That's Kareem Hunt.
That is Kareem Hunt right now.
He's Kareem Hunt.
He's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. It's serviceable.
And that's the point
it's not great.
And that's the point I was trying to make. Like, he fills a role, yes, but when he came back, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is great! Kareem's back." I'm like, "Guys, this isn't the Kareem that you remember."
He's not Kansas City rookie.
If he were that good, he wouldn't have been on the free agent market.
That's exactly. And if he were that good,
he has a role.
He would get 22 carries a game, and he'd have 85 yards, 90 yards, 100 yards a game. If he still was Kareem of old, they would use him as such.
Right.
But that's the only point I was making.
I think that. I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but I'd really like to see Pierre Strong get more
I'm
opportunity.
with you on that. Yeah.
I think he's been better than Ford.
I've seen enough of Jerome Ford, and it's disappointing to say because I really had high hopes.
I had high hopes for him as well. I thought he was going to be a tremendous back. I want to see. I'm with you. I want to see what Pierre Strong can do when he is the feature back for 1 game. Because what's he averaging? 10 yards a carry for his career?
Well, he was coming into this, but not anymore. But he's still. Even this year, he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. I mean, that's pretty good.
Listen, those numbers, they look like that. Those numbers right there look like the numbers for the Ohio State feature back in a Michigan game.
Right.
34 carries, 152 yards. I'll take those numbers. So if you can extrapolate those out and you can get 4.5, guys, if you get 4.5 yards a carry, you're moving the sticks all day long.
The way they divvied up the carries last week with Ford and Hunt. I'd do the same thing except give Strong the
Ford carries.
The Ford carries, that's what I would do.
I'd be all for that.
He doesn't seem to be inclined to do that.
I am not a running back pass blocking aficionado by any means, and I don't love PFF for certain things, but Pierre Strong grades out terribly in PFF possible.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. You have Kareem Hunt in those situations.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think out loud as to why he didn't get as many carries as maybe he should have.
The carries come in situations where you don't need him to pass block.
I'm just throwing out an idea.
It's a valid point, and it explains why he would be off the field on 3rd down and passing situations. But on 1st and 10, if you're going to divvy out carries, let's give some to Pierre Strong and see what he can do.
Plus, how many times has he been out there pass blocking that we have enough of a sample size to know that he's not good at it?
Yeah, I
mean, how many times has he been asked to do it this year? 8? 10?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be that much.
Yeah, I don't think it's very many either.
Yeah. And plus,
The Browns see him every day in practice. Maybe that is a deficiency of his, and they know it. I don't know.
That's true. But they used him a lot against
Indianapolis?
Seattle.
Seattle.
He has 33. Yeah, these numbers are really bad. It's PFF. I don't do this, but he had a 26.6 pass block grade on 10 pass block attempts.
What's Kareem Hunt's?
Seattle. I have to pull up another tab for that. Hold on.
Yeah.
They still use him a lot in that game.
Kareem Hunt's a good pass blocker, though.
You know what I go back to with Pierre Strong? I don't know what Bill gave up on him early, and I know that he's not the guru that he once was.
Yeah.
But when Bill gives up on a guy, it's either personal or it's some sort of defect that he just doesn't like in a player.
Maybe so, but at this point, you don't have many options. And we've seen a lot of Ford, and he just doesn't seem like he's the guy. So why not give him a chance?
I got your answers, Jay, if you want to hear them.
Yeah, what is it?
This season, in 33 pass blocking attempts for Pierre Strong, he has an overall 47.6 grade.
Okay, that's not great.
And he had one game with the 75. Everything else has been Kareem Hunt, on the other hand, 48 pass blocking opportunities according to PFF, a 67.5 pass block grade.
So
and what about Ford?
And Ford, I can pull that up for you right now, actually, because I opened 7 tabs here. Jerome Ford, according to PFF, has on the season 26 pass blocking attempts and a 59.3 grade.
So he's in between the two.
Yeah, I mean, that's great.
And look, all that does is that explains why you wouldn't have him on the field in 3rd and long.
Yeah.
If you're moving and if you're staying on schedule, 1st and 10,
right.
2nd and 7, 3rd and 4, he doesn't have to come off the field.
Right, and if you're in an obvious passing down, then you take him off.
Right,
I guess. But you don't want to. Although you don't want to signal what you're doing to the defense, I guess. But still, it's worth the opportunity.
But to go back to the original question of how confident they can run the ball, I mean, if you're putting DeJuan Jones at left tackle and you're putting James, and again, let's wait and see if this happens.
Yeah.
DeJuan's weakness is running the ball.
Yeah, no.
So if you put him there's only Mike. What was that thing that you came up with?
He's much better in pass block.
Well, no, not that. But there was only 2 spots where you could run the ball effectively, and I think Jed was one of them, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, this was 2 weeks ago, so maybe it's changed. I have to look back into it. But
was
they had
Wyatt?
been most effective running the ball behind Wyatt Teller and Jed Wills at left tackle.
Wow.
So
as much as we kicked his tires and beat him up, they're gonna miss him.
That's what I said. Careful what you wish for.
We'll see. I'm personally not that worried about it. I guess we'll see.
Well, if James Hudson is so bad that they have to take their right tackle, who they
that would be concerning. That sounds like a mistake.
It
is concerning. Boy, they can't catch a break.
I know.
It's so hard being a Browns fan because you just get punched with one fluky thing after another. I mean, if you put them all together, the Conklin thing, Nick Chubb, obviously Deshaun Watson in the shoulder, it's almost like, and Bull says all the time, every team gets injuries, you got to deal with them. I understand that. And I know over a long period of time, they tend to all equal out, but man,
you're talking about a franchise pillar, your starting tackles, and your quarterback. Those are pretty big body blows
massive
to come back from. This isn't a hamstring to a safety that we're talking about.
No.
Or even your best linebacker.
Right.
These are key positions.
And what's crazy about all of this, of all the units, if you go back 25 years, this Browns defense is by far the single most polished, accomplished unit that they've had. That's one of the cornerstones you need to win a championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting the planets to align where you have all of the pieces in your building at once is very difficult. But when you start losing key pieces to injury, it just feels like you take one step forward and you come 2 back.
And
I think if Deshaun Watson plays well, none of the other things matter much. I really don't.
He can hide a lot of it.
Yeah.
But the tackle thing.
I mean, I
it's
can't
a
whine about
precursor to him playing well.
Yeah.
The Conklin
Is having
injury is
those
a non-factor. I mean, well, I shouldn't say it's a non-factor, but
It's
DeJuan
the
Jones.
trickle-down effect of the Conklin
Sure,
injury.
but
You're moving parts now, and it becomes a shell game.
3 weeks ago we were talking about getting rid of Jed Wills because he wasn't good enough.
I know.
I can't call that a critical injury.
Nope,
I just can't. We'll see. If I'm proven wrong, can we see James Hudson play? I mean, he's barely played.
Bull, you know what determines a critical injury is what you have coming on the backside of it.
I just.
And
I'm not buying it's going to be that big a deal this week. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
When you were talking about moving on from Jed, it was to go find someone else
better.
externally,
Yes, I hear you.
not someone in the building, because there is nobody in the building who's any better than him.
Yeah, and people are going to compare, and it's not a fair comparison. Like Jed Wills has not had to play against the Ravens the last couple of weeks or the Steelers the last couple of weeks because he didn't play well against the Steelers and Ravens.
He did not.
He didn't play well in those.
That's when we were beating him up.
The first 2 games were awful.
No, the first 4 games were
No,
awful.
I thought it was the first 2.
No, it's the first 4.
Was it 4?
Do you know
Since the Baltimore
yesterday,
game, Jed Wills
Tyvis
had been significantly better.
Yeah, and Tyvis sort of it was a hypothesis. He didn't have any inside information. I said, to me, it's almost like a guy finally got to his tipping point where he'd heard enough because the criticism was coming from all corners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a deluge on Jed Wills. And I had speculated that maybe he just said, you know what? This is my family's name on the back of my jersey, and I'm embarrassing my teammates and my family. And he stood up and worked harder in film and worked harder in the weight room or whatever. Spent more time with Bill Callahan. I don't know. Tyvis said he thinks what happened was Bill Callahan quietly pulled him aside and said, look, this team can't get to where we want to go with you playing like that.
It could be.
So, I mean, something happened.
I don't know. I mean, hey, you don't know what these guys are going through.
That's what Tyvis said.
Like, in personal life, and I have no idea. I'm just saying.
I get it.
It carries over. You ever have a bad day and you take it into work?
Sure.
Like, it happens. It happens with these guys, too. He could have had an injury that no one really talked about. It could be a number of things. Because, again, I kept saying, I think he's average. I think he's average. I think he's average. And the first month, he was horrible. And I said, I'm breaking up with you. It's not me. It's you. But since then, he's average.
Yeah.
Like, he's back to just being average. He's not elite.
You know what?
He's
After
not
living
elite.
with the
He's not
subpar,
terrible.
we'll take it.
Yeah.
By the way, is it a coincidence that, who knows if it's true or not, but there were a lot of rumors last year that Denzel Ward was going through something in his personal life.
It looked like
and
it.
he had his worst year last year.
It looked
and
like
this
it.
year, he's having his best year.
Yeah. It looked like he was just in a bad place last year, and he's a different guy. Now, maybe you can attribute that to the Jim Schwartz defense, and it's more suiting to what he does. Who knows? But I agree with you. I just didn't recognize Denzel Ward. We've seen enough of him to know who he is.
Yeah.
Last year didn't look like any other year that he's ever played football. So it seems like there was something there.